Today I'm going to talk about Lorenzo Il Magnifico, a Euro game from Cool Mini or Not. I had the chance to play this a few weeks ago, and so it's not quite fresh in my mind, but I think I'll be okay to talk about it. There's a core mechanism in the game, or a core aspect of the game, that I want to talk about, related to the cards. There are basically 4 different card types in the game, and those card types do some really cool things. I like the categories of these cards. The yellow cards are for trading, you're converting one goods to another. The green cards are for gaining resources. The purple cards are for endgame points based on conditions that you achieve, like 2 points for every X, whatever X is. And the blue cards are instant bonuses, and the more blue cards you have at the end of the game, the more points you get for those blue cards. I like those categories a lot. But the thing I really, really love are the yellow cards and the green cards and how they work. You have these yellow and green cards. As you acquire them, you put them in a tableau, a row of either yellow or green, 2 different sections on your player map for yellow or green. And then later on in the game, or even in that same round, you can activate that entire row of cards. So early on in the game, that might mean that you're activating 1 or 2 cards. But late in the game, you're potentially activating 6 yellow or 6 green cards. You activate one or the other, which is super powerful. There's some contingencies based on the dice that are on the board at the time that can impact how many cards you activate. But in general, when you activate them, you're trying to activate as many of them as possible. And you have this real sense of progression and power as a result, because you're starting weak, and by the end of the game, you're activating this huge, powerful row of cards that you've built. That's your agency, your control, your strategy that you've pursued, and that you get to you have the payoff in the end. The game also does something really clever with this, in that the action that you need to take to activate these rows of cards is unlimited. There's like one slot that's a little cheaper or a little easier to activate, and then there's an unlimited slot that anyone can use. That way you're not blocked near the end of the game from using what is probably the most satisfying aspect of the game, this huge engine building element. So I really like that the game not only enables you to make this engine of cards on your tableau that you can activate, but it also ensures that you can actually use that engine. Sometimes games don't do that. They provide some limits late in the game, so you build up this awesome thing and you don't even get to use it based on the circumstances. So I really like that the game allows you to do that. I'm sure this is in other games. I actually know for sure that it's in a game that we are publishing either later this year or in 2019. This idea of putting cards in rows and activating the entire row. It's very satisfying. It's very visually clear what you're getting when you activate those cards. And so I definitely like this mechanism a lot. If you have seen this in other games, I'd love to hear about it in the comments, or if you have a different favorite mechanism that makes Lorenzo Il Magnifico really fun and interesting for you, I'd love to hear about that in the comments as well. Thanks.